The hype about the metaverse might be fading a bit, but that doesn't mean that investors cannot still find opportunities. With me today is Dina Ting. She is head of Global Index Portfolio Management at Franklin Templeton. Dina, great to have you here. Let's first take a look back at the first quarter. How has this niche market performed versus the broader market, and what might come next?
For the first quarter of this year, the metaverse has outperformed relative to the broad market. In fact, by quite a bit, by over 18%. And over the longer term, they have also outperformed over the broad markets such as the S&P 500 as well as the global equity market. And many people often compared Metaverse with the technology indices, and they happen to outperform as well over the Q1, 3 years, and 5 years. But the Metaverse universe in general is beyond just technology indices, right? Because any companies that are participating in Metaverse could be part of this Metaverse fund that we have.
Now, you already mentioned companies. Of course, when we think about the metaverse, I mean, the first company that really comes to mind is Meta, the Facebook parent company. But I'm sure there are more players out there. What companies are really on your radar these days?
That is the common theme, right? People always associate Meta with Metaverse, but in reality, Metaverse is much broader than that. If you think about how like auto industry or any other industry are using Metaverse, it's a lot more diverse. It's not just the way we define it. It's a combination of how people are using the technology. Give an example of the auto industry, both from the manufacturing as well as from the distribution and the sales. Metaverse, the technology itself, enable a company who manufactures car to be able to create a two products development across two different geographical regions that can help them work together more seamlessly. And you can simulate the production run, you can reduce costs because you reduce the ability to be able to make mistakes as you are creating and sharing information. On top of that, on the sales side, when you get to the sales side, the ability to give the end client the virtual experience of what the car could do, what it could deliver, is all immersed into that. And beyond auto industry, there's healthcare. There's also the enabler in terms of payment because people are doing commerce now in the virtual world. So there's more than just that piece of it that makes Metaverse a big market with the potential for a $5 trillion market and about 60% of the population using that down the road.
So a lot of diverse applications and opportunities. Let's say we meet again in 2 years from now, in 5 years from now. What are we going to be talking about? And will we even be talking like this, or will we be all in the metaverse?
Yeah, so in terms of like the development going forward, this is a multi-decade opportunity. It's something that will evolve, and the winners of today will not necessarily be the winners of tomorrow either, because each of the company are using it for a different purposes, and which one harness it sometimes is hard to predict on an ongoing basis. But the way we offer our investor is you have a basket of 60 stocks where Metaverse is one of the differentiating factor or something that they are trying to harness. And having a basket approach across that will be helpful for investors to be able to benefit from the longer term theme. If you think about from the healthcare industry, for example, how Metaverse can help in terms of collaborations and rehabilitative to kind of stimulate things so that people can heal better, or even like in terms of surgical, right? Practicing on operation in a real world situation rather than the normal way of using like years and years of patients and cases that cannot always happen and help you learn, right? But if you can stimulate that environment, people can learn a lot faster because there's a lot more cases that you can create in the virtual world. So in terms of discussion going forward, I think everybody will continue finding new ways on how to do that and continue to kind of harness which companies are the best in terms of being able to make the best of the technology that is there. The way we look at it on Metaverse, there's the content and experiences. These are companies such as Meta that you mentioned. They're the platform itself, right? So these are like either like the Roblox or the Riot Games who kind of create an area where people kind of play and be able to use different tools. And there's also the enablers, right? Like NVIDIA, who created the software that enable all these companies to kind of collaborate in the virtual world as well as in the real world. And then there's the payment enabler side, right? Because commerce are happening. And these kind of company will help, whether they are the cryptos or blockchain technology or like your traditional financial services company. So all these across these four, there will be development across all of them, and they all kind of access it from a different way. And that makes it even more exciting going forward.
So an exciting growth area indeed. Thank you so much, Dina, for taking your time. For Morningstar, I'm Antje Schiffler.